I will begin by responding to my opponent's claim that their techniques are not considered torture. To begin with, I will quote the United States Code definition of torture as an act committed by a person acting under the color of law specifically intended to inflict severe physical or mental pain or suffering. They question what is severe in this sense. Well, according to a major FBI operative, waterboarding is not approaching drowning. The victim's lungs are filling with water. It is drowning. And their life is placed in imminent peril if not done correctly. So I think that it is a fairly fair assessment that near death is severe enough to consider anything torture. Now, some of their techniques aren't torture. The attention grab, the attention slap, the belly slap, none of those are severe mental or physical anguish. But the situations such as long time standing and where they are forced to stand naked in a 40-degree cell for long periods of time in addition to waterboarding can all have severe psychological and mental lasting effects, none of which occur for the traditional rapport building techniques that are currently in action. I will also begin by describing that how their proposition will not be plausible in the world we are living today. They claim that enhanced interrogation is more effective than these less violent alternatives. But it is shown that training interrogators in nonviolent psychological methods can very well be more reliable than these torture methods. It has been found by several FBI officials and stated in the New York Times by Scott Shane that interrogation should be restructured using the tricks of veteran homicide detectives and the persuasive techniques of sophisticated marketing models of American history. These are both nonviolent means to interrogate that can still be used to gain the information that is needed to protect our nation. Some examples of success that doesn't involve torture whatsoever were in the World War days when German and Japanese prisoners were effectively interrogated using the methods that are currently used. The current methods are primarily about rapport building, and it has been shown in one particular case that an FBI interrogators utilizing these rapport building techniques were able to track down in just 2 months of questioning of detainees one of the locations of a high-ranking Al-Qaeda operative safe house, namely Zarqawi's. In addition, this is not a plausible technique, seeing as it is torture, and torture violates not only national but international laws. According to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, without distinction of any kind, a person shall not have their freedoms set forth in the Declaration shall not have their freedoms restricted. This includes even these are considered illegal combatants. It does not matter what creed or what state the person fights for, they are still guaranteed the specific rights under this particular declaration. In addition, many FBI officials consider the four primary parts of enhanced interrogation to be torture. i.e. the exposure to cold weather, waterboarding, threats of death to family of the detainee, and exploiting of phobias to induce stress, such as threatening them with dogs. Also, there are some severe consequences to what my opponents propose. Since it is impossible to endorse torture while maintaining our country's values. President Obama said, "What makes the United States special and what makes you special is precisely the fact that we are willing to uphold our values and our ideals even when it is hard." Meaning, we cannot simply give up on the things that make America great simply because we are not willing to pursue more subtle methods as opposed to brute force torture. In addition, if we were to enact these techniques, we would be at odds with the UN, who are currently strongly against torture, as stated previously by the Declaration of Human Rights and the UN Convention Against Torture, Article 2. So, any UN state that is aware that torture has been committed is legally obligated to prosecute those found guilty of torturing. So we would be placing anyone that we require to use these techniques in danger of prosecution on the global stage. And it is for these reasons that it is quite clear that we cannot enact enhanced interrogation.